What's going on? It's Dr. Ben with another meaningful conversation with a practicing chiropractor in the field to try and help shine a light on the path of what it could look like to become a chiropractor, the depth of the experience, and some of the unique challenges that somebody might face and how they adapt and overcome. Dr. Luis Feliu, you're out in Florida. Can you just get us started by introducing yourself, sharing a little bit about your upbringing, your background, and what attracted you to becoming a chiropractor, please?
All right. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Ben, for having me. Yeah, I'm in Orlando, Florida. I'm originally from Puerto Rico. I was born and raised there, lived there for 26 years, and I I had an experience with chiropractic. I had an experience with chiropractic. I was in a point in my life where I wasn't really sure what I was doing with my life. I was actually working for a pharmaceutical company. My original education was in industrial engineering. I did a bachelor's in industrial engineering, so I became a master production scheduler for a pharmaceutical company for Pharmacia. Was there for maybe uh, 8 months or something like that. It didn't take me long to feel like my soul was being sucked out of me. Uh, and needless to say, I had a long commute, didn't have much of a life at all, and needless to say, I started developing back pain. Right, it's like that's the uh, looking back, like that's when my body started talking to me. And that led me to eventually to go to a chiropractor, and he told me the story. He was very simple. He didn't like want to take my pain away or anything like that. He told me about the nervous system and the spine and the innate healing power of the body and everything that resonated as true inside of me. And my question in my head was like, why in my all my experiences with doctors, people in the health field, in the past, nobody had talked to me about that, and something that seemed actually so simple. um, and that really resonated highly with me. Um, so I started getting the experience of the adjustment, and fortunately, it started in a nonlinear kind of way. It just started something in my life that the coincidentally the pharmaceutical company that I was working for got bought by Pfizer, and I was on a temp contract, so I was laid off when I was like starting to try to make the decision of what I was gonna try to do with my life other than that. And then this event, the series of events started happening. I'm not gonna tell you the entire story, but then it circled back to a moment where I was struggling again to figure out what I was gonna do, and I went back to my chiropractor, and after an adjustment, I just had this moment of clarity that that's what I wanted to do with my life. And you know uh, yeah, so it was an experience that created some change in me beyond beyond taking pain away from my back. And
Hmm.
that was huge for me. And that was back in 2002 that I made that 2003 that I made that decision and started chiropractic school in 2004. So I've been, you know, what, 15 years now involved in this.
Hmm. Hmm.
Did I miss anything that you asked there?
When you think about it, when you reflect back transitioning into chiropractic school, what were some surprises or some challenges that you encountered? What were, maybe some of the biggest adversity that you had to adapt to, and also what were some positive and pleasant surprises?
Interesting surprises. Definitely the depth of the field and how varied things in the profession can be in terms of perspectives and styles and approaches to the care, and focuses, and I had that I had that experience of the, of something almost spiritual that, that started changing in me, that started changing my path and the way that I acted. And and to, to have that side of the spectrum, and then, meet in the profession with people that are just focused on, on very much, treatment of back pain, and I'm more specialized with different, techniques and measurements and this and that. So, and all of it amazing, and all of it, but it was definitely challenging to see, or to get adapted to the variety of perspectives within that profession, because you can see that there's as you go in, you can see that there's like this infighting, and there's this there can be this bickering about whose perspective is correct, and what this profession is really about, or what it is not. And um, so that can be a challenge, because you can try to find yourself in a place of, oh, what side do I pick, or what, or am I wrong in thinking in this way, or um, so and it takes time to be able to find your own, where you fit in that spectrum. But that's the beauty of chiropractic, and something that somebody shared with me later on, is like that the beauty of it is that there's all that range, so that allows you to kind of be you. And but it's, but as anything else, finding yourself is a challenge too, right? And you feel certain ways one day, and you feel certain ways the other day. So that was both a pleasant surprise and a challenge, to be able to navigate that
Mhm.
area.
What did
In
you
turn,
specifically gravitate towards? What were some of the bigger influences that you were attracted to, and that you immersed yourself in?
the first thing, and the thing that has influenced me the most, that came was, I got attracted to this chiropractic approach called BGI, biogeometric integration. And I'm sure that you know a lot about that. Um, we've hung out with a lot of the same people that, that have gravitated, and in that work, it being an approach and a way of thinking about the body, I think was the main thing that allowed me to be able to then see the beauty of all the different kinds of work, and I gravitated within that world. We did a lot of like light contact work, bordering in what people would consider energy work, or something like that. But it's just light contacts to release tension in the body, and allow the body to open up in a way that then we can, when the tension that is actually stored in the joints, and that need an actual structural adjustment, then can release with a lot of ease, and without the body fighting. But then, in that sense, then you can apply any of the structural techniques, which there are plenty, and you can start making up your own too, if you understand the how the body works. You can adapt your body to the other person's body, and that was the biggest thing, for me. And then, so, hanging in that clique of, and with that group of chiropractors, most of them, and Dr. Sue Brown as well, who was the creator of this kind of approach. She gravitated around Dr. Arnaud Bernier, and there was this group of chiropractors that, that all kind of hung out together and had the same sort of perspective. They had different styles, but they had this sort of the same open perspective of, like, let's bring the body into ease. This allow this to move, but then, and then, but making the connection of the bigger expression of life, both, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically, and
Mhm.
that whole aspect of it. So so I hung out a lot with, and took a lot of seminars with that, with a lot of those chiropractors, Dr. Luke Orletto, Katina Manning, Um, Stupid Man, which had a similar approach. He wasn't in the same kind of like group, but they didn't hang out together a lot. But um, so those people definitely, Dr. Elizabeth Walsh, that that group of Kairos really influenced me in that,
Mm-hmm.
and so that was something in school that also was a pleasant surprise. The amount of different perspective of different chiropractors that would come in with all these different perspectives, and knew that we had access to that. I don't know how that's working these days with all
It's
the
still available.
situation, but
It's
yeah.
still available. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well that's awesome. Yeah, I would take advantage of that as much as possible. That was for me the I think where I did the most learning through chiropractic school. I did a lot of the book learning in school, and the sciences and all of that, but and very good access to really good chiropractic in school. But me personally, a lot of that was enhanced by that influence of of doing seminars outside of school.
Great advice. Absolutely. Just knowing that you are from Puerto Rico and that the school you went to is in the Bay Area, and then you moved to Hawaii, and now you're in Florida. Can you talk about how you've gone on this journey of becoming a chiropractor, how it's brought you new places, introduced you to new cultures, gotten you the skill set that you could make it and adapt no matter where you live in the world?
Yeah, no, definitely. The First of all, I was lucky, in being in Puerto Rico, and that it was easy for me to, being in Puerto Rico, we're American citizens, and so it was easy for me to transition and be able to get loans and all that stuff to be able to just come to school. So I was, and I had a good upbringing with English as well. So then I was able to. So that was the first thing that allowed me to make a jump. And but yeah, just acquiring a skill set that right here. The camera is inverted here, so I'm having to go to this side. Okay, here. Uh, this is your office right here. It's all you need. You don't even need a table to be able to help somebody and give them something of value to them, that that somebody will reward you with either money or their own skills. That I can tell you how many services I've traded over the years, and gotten things that I wouldn't have otherwise gotten because I didn't want to spend the money on them. So those kinds of things. So you have a tool of energy exchange right here with your hands. Just be um, to share love, share good energy, and the world will always reward you. Give you if when you give, you receive, right? And um, so you have always something to give with this. And so that being said, then you can see that how that's a tool that you can take anywhere. You can go anywhere in the world with it. And obviously the business side of things changes, in every place that you go. And so how success and abundance and all that looks to you, and and what you want to achieve with that, that's gonna determine how you do with business, and what sort of structure you want to do in that sense. But and in school you get you'll get to that. I know that's getting better in school. There's definitely some really good people that are involved in getting the business being taught better in school and whatnot. But that aspect, that's the business side. But all things aside, you're obtaining this tool that you can use to help yourself, to help your family. um hey, I got free chiropractic care for the rest of my life now, because I'm a chiropractor. The same thing, you see that. So that's it's a thing to take care of yourself, your family, and to be able to take care of others and always have a service. So yeah, I went to school in California. I got had the opportunity to took the opportunity when I moved back to Puerto Rico to drive across the country. It took a month. Drove across the country to all the way to the east, back to the east coast to here to Florida, and shipped my car um, up to Puerto Rico. At that time, I was dating my girlfriend was a chiropractor as well, and we went to Puerto Rico and spent a couple of years there. Things business wise didn't work out how we wanted to, and that's gonna be something that you guys are gonna be. Uh, it's a journey, you know. That's a thing, you know. Because you're open, because chiropractic care, you take it seriously, can open you up to many things. You're gonna be faced with a lot of mirrors that are gonna like make you examine your life and are gonna challenge you in many different ways. And that's what it's been to me. You know, it's my path hasn't been easy. You know, I've moved a lot. I've for different reasons, you know, and a lot of them have been struggles, both financially and health wise. You know, I had some big health issues, and that's what actually ended me up here in Florida. Um, I was out of commission for a couple of years, and I had kidney failure because of a genetic condition that I have. So I had a kidney transplant, and now I'm back. And now I'm back in practice after that. So one of the so it chiropractic for me has brought me in a journey. I've had a lot of personal loss and a lot of, but it's been the thing that's been steady the whole time behind it in terms of my own care. You know, when I was, you know, even in the worst parts of my health crisis, you know, and I was, you know, I had to resort to medicine. You know, medicine has its place too, and it saved my life. You know? I have a third kidney right now because, you know, because of the, you know, wonders of modern medicine. Um, yeah, but it's the thing that was, you know, that was constant, and I know that the way that I, you know, thought about the body, and you know, my philosophy about the body and how we think about it and about life in general has, you know, helped me through that. So yeah, so the, you know, buckle your seatbelts, because if you're willing to let a chiropractic will take you places, you know. I can't complain about the places that I've been. You know, you hear like so most, you know, some of the most popular places in, you know, in the world, if not just, you know, the United States here. You know, Florida, California, Puerto Rico, and Hawaii. You know, and so yeah, I have a tool that allows me to, that will actually allow me to go places, or it will actually take me places. You know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. No, this is beautiful. Just a reflection on your path, and great advice. You know, to take seminars, to recognize that it doesn't need to be a financial exchange, but coconuts will do, or wood carvings to put into your house are a beautiful exchange of somebody's energy. You know.
And other practitioners. When I was living in Hawaii, I had a good relationship with two acupuncturists and a massage therapist, and you know, that's kind of like when I was starting to not do very good and with my health. I was, you know, getting adjusted once a week at least. I was getting acupuncture once or twice a month, and I was getting massage once or twice a month. And so and it was all on trade. When I, you know, when I wasn't making a lot of money, you know, doing chiropractic, I still had the power to get those, you know, important health services for myself on trade, because I had this you know, energy exchange. So
Mm-hmm.
that's
Can you
huge.
talk about the parallels of the culture of Puerto Rico and the people's like roots, their philosophical beliefs on health and well-being? Maybe not this generation or even the previous generation, but your grandparents' generation or even their parents' generation, and how chiropractic really is aligned and connected to an older energy from previous generations.
Yeah, I think the thing that the older energy has, the older generations had a little bit more of that connection with nature, and just how nature works, and how things, have cycles, and they, and they, things are born, things die, and things heal, things get hurt. Um, but it's all something that works together, and mostly they knew to not mess too much with it, and which I think is a lot of what our philosophy is just try to live as close. We live in a modern life, and if we are, living in a city that, it's hard to do, to live in a natural way completely. But if you can still, like, take life, with the flow that it is, and observe the patterns in nature, but also just, in the way that we eat, we can try to, eat as clean as possible, uh, and move our bodies, and then in searching for healthcare. um, if you're dealing with an issue, you go conservative first. You go from less invasive to more invasive, and I think we, like, right now we live in such a fast paced, instant gratification thing, that we need this pain taken away right now. So and then the approach is, the pills or surgery first, and then if that doesn't work, then going back to the natural stuff. But it's like, doesn't it make sense to just try to go conservative, and try to not get to the place that you're going to be, you know hurting, and messed up in the first place, and which is, by, giving ourselves maintenance. We I think we pay attention, we give more maintenance to our vehicles than we give to our bodies. If we paid that much attention to say, hey, we're pretty religious about taking the car to, get an alignment, and an oil change every 3 to 5,000 miles. you know See that your body is your vehicle, and then, we're giving it some serious city miles with all the stress that we face in the modern world. So let's give it that maintenance, and let's give it the appropriate fuel, and all these things. So I think, in the again, going back to being more in touch with the natural flow of things, instead of trying to interfere too much from the outside, I guess, would be the and and so in the older generations, more in, and speaking of in Puerto Rico and whatnot, it's more of that. You're eating, you're eating closer to the to the ground, if that makes sense, and
Mhm.
and you're moving, you're doing things physically. You're not sitting in front of and you're playing outside, you're farming, you're doing things, and I think that's something that, if anything will save us, is, getting back to, because it's for where we come from. If you take something from the environment, that like, our bodies are adapted to be in nature, not to be, like, sitting inside of a, office in front of a computer all the time. That's and so the more that we can connect with that, then the healthier we'll be.
Mhm. What's your vision, your bigger vision, for the legacy that you're going to lead in life? Obviously, family, in the context of chiropractic and your contributions. Do you have a particular vision of what's possible, if we see maybe more Puerto Rican chiropractors going back to Puerto Rico and creating programs and developing patterns of expression that the culture can get behind or get with? Or is it something greater than Puerto Rico? Where's your particular heart at?
I've always the one a vision that I've always had is of multidisciplinary healing centers, a web of it. There's my main one that I that I started dreaming was in Puerto Rico. Um, but I want to have that, that plant that seed of that concept of somebody coming in and getting, to like the holistic services that they need, and then people can, and also like do retreats and resets, and so that that it becomes, it'd be cool if it became mainstream, that people, took that took that route in healing. And I think that would create a lot more, health, if that became the model of the modern hospital. Let's put it that way. Just like some, a place where you go and you get reconnected with, basically reconnected with nature, and get reconnected with your body and your body's ability to heal. And there's so many amazing tools out there, other professions that that work together. Right now, are the stresses of the modern life require a little bit more than just chiropractic care. In the traditional sense. I think a lot of people, we hear the stories of the older, you know, of the older generations back in BJ and Didi, and people just getting an adjustment and getting so much better from all these different things. I think our environment right now is probably a lot more toxic, and our lack of movement is a lot more prevalent.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I think to get and I just the median of where people are at in health wise right now is not good.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think to get people back to a general good state of health, uh, that combination of those different practices will help, especially in the teaching people self-care, and
Mm-hmm.
teaching them yoga, things like foundation training, um, that that people, because this work is ultimately about self-empowerment, and about people being empowered with their own healing. It's still not about, hey, we are the ones that are going to be healing you, and always come to us. It has to infiltrate. Talk about big vision. It has to infiltrate education. you know Kids need to be learning about the body in the way that we get taught about the body in chiropractic school. We need to be getting taught about that in
Mm-hmm.
school, because the influence of they're already seeing the influence of the drugs and all that stuff in TV all the time. That they need to understand that our natural state is not, it's not disease, it's ease. And they need to know the importance that the spine and the nervous system play in it. But they also need to learn more about food and movement and those things in a holistic way. So I think if the health system is an actual health system, not a disease care system, then that will translate into education. And so people are already coming with an understanding of that. Um, because so many people that come into our offices on a daily, they don't have they don't have the concept of, it's the first time that they've heard of the spine can get misaligned, and you can get a little bit of pressure in irritation in your nerve system that can interfere with your body's function. That shouldn't be a mystical concept. That's our physiology, and that's our anatomy. And that shouldn't be something that we hear for the first time when I come with back pain to a chiropractic office. you know
Mm-hmm.
so I guess that's the vision I would have. If I have any influence in that would be awesome.
Perfect. Beautiful. No, it's a great. I don't really even need to ask you to differentiate things from physical therapy, because you do such a great job of just embodying a chiropractor who is in harmony with the natural world, who's moving towards nature in any chance they get, and also bringing people inward to trust in themselves and in their body's ability to heal, but also to function fully when they're clear and they're connected and they're moving in the direction that is in alignment with them, whatever
Yeah.
that may be. So beautiful. I appreciate your time. Thank you for sharing with the prospective students, and enjoy your day. It looks beautiful out there.
Yeah. Thank you, Doc. It was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely,
All
man.
right.
Thank you.
We'll see you. And